World RX is in Texas for the championship showdown. And when in Austin, it's important to look the part.
God, look at those boots! Kevin.
Yep, the Fab Five, there we go. We went shopping at Alan's Boots and we all dressed up in cowboy gear, but now the serious action and the serious uniform is back on. Hello and welcome to Austin, Texas and the Circuit of the Americas for round 10 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship. And we've already had qualifying 1. We're about to watch qualifying 2 live. Thank you for joining us wherever you're watching from. Let us know who you're looking out for. Now, this is the grid for the first race of qualifying 2, and we're in the unusual position of having Johan Kristoffersen in the first race. Currently, he's in P13, which if this were qualifying 4 would mean he wouldn't make it through to the semi-finals. But luckily, he's still got 3 more sessions of qualifying on the very weekend where he could and should seal the championship, but it looks like it's not going to go all his way. Let's see if we can dive in and have a word with one of the drivers here. In fact, let's just jump in and speak to Anton, if you don't mind. Anton, it's great to see you back in the championship, and you're in this brand new car to you, the Megane, and it looks like you've got it under control pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think both free practice and Q1 was quite solid. I didn't want to do anything stupid. I was just wanting to play it safe. Of course, Q1 I had a bad start, but I was lucky to be P2 anyway out of turn 2, and then following Kevin, who did have quite good pace. Just wanted to play it safe, as I said, and now we will see if we will do a bit more risk or if we will play it safe again. I don't really know yet, but no, it feels great to be in the Megane. Obviously, I have a lot of work to do to get my head around how it's working and what setup changes I need to be happy. So it's a big job, and I'm having a cold, so I'm not feeling very well, feeling quite tired. So yeah. But just really happy to be here and racing the World RX again.
Okay, well, we'll let you focus and not spread the germs too much. Enjoy your race, this race. That's Anton Markland. Let's go over here. Let's have a quick word with Kevin Hansen. We jump in here, Kevin. We were just watching at the beginning of the show when we went to try on all the cowboy gear. Did you actually buy anything in that store?
Oh yeah, I bought the hat, the shirt and the belt. I just had to get it. And I wore it yesterday on the track walk and everything, so it was nice, really nice.
Do you think you'll be able to rock that look when you go back to Sweden?
I don't think so. I think many people would stare at me, but here in Texas I entered the hotel yesterday with the hat and it was like, yeah, normal guy, no problem.
So now the serious business of racing. After qualifying 1, how are you set for qualifying 2?
Yeah, I'm ready to go again. It's very difficult here with the start and first corner and Joker and who's going to go. We don't really know, so I was happy with my first run. I had to close quite a lot for Niklas, but in the end we play a bit longer game, so we are now in a good position for the rest of the weekend, I think. So let's try to go out there, enjoy and master this very, very difficult circuit. It's very tight, very short. We don't have any straights really, so you have to be on your toes and very precise all the time. So let's see how it goes.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Someone who's on his toes and precise all the time is Andrew Coley in the commentary booth, and he's being joined by Dan Rook.
Thanks, Neil. That's very nice. I think precise is a bit of a... if you've watched this long enough, you'll know I make enough mistakes. Okay, interesting what Kevin was talking about. Down to turn 1, first corner Joker. As a driver, that's one time where you've really got to rely on your instincts. They all like to rely on the spotters, but you know, places like this, places like Norway, hell, just straight in, what do you do?
Yeah, you obviously, the spotter doesn't have time to react to what's happening and that he's seeing on the track, so the driver's got to be very vigilant and aware of who's around him and who's doing what. So it's very much down to the driver where the Joker goes on lap 1 here.
Okay, cool. Well, we're going to take a look back at the action from Q1. So if you missed that, this is what happened. It's how Johan Kristoffersen's down in P13. So this was the first of the races. Kristoffersen on the outside here. Watch for Loeb, though. Comes from slot number 2 right the way round to the inside on the Joker, and he manages then to get himself into the lead. of the guys who'd taken that section. This was, I think, what was it, Ericsson slotting back in, Larson, sorry, slotting back in the OMSE car. Told you I wasn't that accurate. He got in front of Kristoffersen. Now, I went and saw Johan, and Johan said, look, if the guy in front just drives slowly, like so slowly, he can't make a mistake. He can't get round him. So it is possible to pass him. We've seen people do it, but it can be made almost impossible by the guy in front. Now, watch here. So this one was Ekstrom, managed to get himself too deep on the brakes on the inside, and then we saw Hansen managing to get up underneath Niklas Gronholm. So good job by Kevin. But those two then fought it out all the way through their race, and that cost them both significant time. That was Solberg on the limit, on a flyer, setting a brilliant pace. I went to Petter as well. You will know if you've been keeping up with the championship, he has not been very well this year, and he said he is feeling a lot better. He said you cannot believe the difference. Anton Markman, GCK McGann, making his debut in that team this time out. Kevin Eriksson up the inside of Baccarat, but Baccarat holding the line down towards the end after a bit of contact in the air as well. So fantastic job by him to manage to hold on to that position in the slippery conditions, taking the win, but the time was not enough to challenge Petter Solberg. It was Solberg who took it from Ekstrom and Loeb. Solberg was some 2.5 seconds faster than Sebastian Loeb. Epic job by him. Hansen's right up there, so 2 Peugeots in the top 4. Then it's Baccarat, Kevin Eriksson, Anton Markman. Good job in the Renault Megane for GCK. Kevin Hansen in P8. Timmers, Jarnov, Gronholm, Baumanis, Larson, Johan Kristoffersen. I do not know the last time he was in P13. I do know when I went to see him, he was fully focused in the paddock with his headphones on, being interrupted by nobody except me, who went across and said, what happened? So, not happy with his performance in that first session, and he will want to be doing a better job this time out. You can already see him there in the middle of the grid. The Monster Energy girls are there. It is Q2, race 1. Let's take a look at the lineup. Baumanis on the inside, next to him Robin Larson, then it's Johan Kristoffersen, Gregoire Demoustier and Guerlain Chicherit. Larson, you could see, was ahead of Johan last time. Johan said he just could not find a way through. There was nowhere to pass. He was frustrated. He want to get a better job this time. Middle of the grid, I suspect he'll go Joker 1, but then on the other hand, he's not going to want to get held up, Dan. You can't, he's in a race here with respect to the drivers. These are not the quickest guys. Johan, normally, if he jokered in the final race, it doesn't really matter. You make some space anyway, but, he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's thankfully for him, he's starting in a slightly better grid position where he's got maybe a bit more options, but we'll see where he goes here.
Okay, Kristoffersen, middle of the grid, P13. What can he do? Brilliant start. He's got Demoustier already going to move to the inside. Starts to squeeze Baumanis, gets a nudge from Baumanis. Kristoffersen goes standard lap on the inside. Baumanis having a look. Larson's gone on the inside of Baumanis. Baumanis drops back a place. Chicherit is ahead of Demoustier on the Joker lap. Those two guys have gone Joker on lap 1. And Kristoffersen leads. Real sideways stop. Oh, contact with Larson. Larson gets spun by Baumanis. Baumanis on the inside. Larson facing the wrong way on the run down from the jump towards the hairpin. Contact in the air, spanning round. Larson trying to do a 3-point turn to get that car out of the racing line, and he's still sitting in the middle of the track from the competition. You're looking at Chicherit, who is ahead of, right up behind Baumanis. Baumanis hasn't jokered, so good job by him. Of course, he's been held up, but the man under pressure is Johan Kristoffersen, leading this one on the inside line. And there we go, Chicherit passing Baumanis, so forceful move.
Yeah, great job there from Chicherit to be making his way back up and help with the incident there with Larson. He's managed to get ahead of Baumanis, someone who hasn't actually taken the Joker lap yet, so he's already got that advantage over him. But Kristoffersen's just pulling away now. He knows he has to get his head down and set a blistering time.
Solberg did an epic job in Q1, didn't he? He needs to do the same here. He's got to get himself right back up. It's not going to be hard for him to make the semis, but with the way this track is, if you're not on the front row in the semis, fastest lap of the day, he's got to be on the front row in the semis, down, or he's not going to win here.
Yeah, he knows that as well, so he's going to be putting absolutely everything into this, trying to make up that lost time. We know the car can do it. We saw Petter do it in Q1, so let's see what Johan can do with fresh air.
Baumanis with Demoustier close behind at the Joker lap merge. There is Kristoffersen though with the number 1 on the car, and look how hard he's trying. Big push, threads the car through the needle, which is the wall line section of dirt, out every inch of the road, backs it into the Joker lap. Stunning car control. Kristoffersen on a mission. Fastest lap of the day, 33.909. That was epic car control.
Yeah, that was absolutely awesome. Coming out through that split where the start finish is, you cannot see the entrance into that Joker lap. For it to come out sideways.
Oh my God.
He had some...
That was mint, absolutely flying. Kristoffersen had that backed in at ultra high speed. The world champion is showing his class here on a massive push, right up close to the wall, again, sideways over the line, right the way out to the paint, over to the concrete. Kristoffersen, 2:23.860. Fastest time of the day, takes 1.2 seconds off Solberg's time from Q1. The world champion fights back. Wow. Wow.
That was
into the Joker, that best bit of car control I've seen all year. Amazing.
very impressive. Very, very impressive.
We were looking at the monitors, but we're right over the Joker lap. You look at the monitor, you're like, nah. And you look up from there, and just so sideways and so accurate in towards the inside. I really hope you get to see that again in the replay. So Kristoffersen showing his class. Schischrich, good job getting past Baumanis on track, so you can overtake it. You've got to be forceful to Moustier and Larson. We're going to take a look back at the action from that, and I really hope you get to see Johan into the Joker lap. Here we go, good start, a decisive move on Larson immediately, squeezes Baumanis, great.
Yeah, fantastic start. The Polos are, supreme off the line, and he got lucky there. He ran a bit wide in the middle of turn one. He was good job for him that nobody got up the inside of him. As I think we're going to see instant between Larson and Baumanis. Yeah, so just clipping him over the jump, and as soon as you're sideways in the air, Larson was just a passenger from then on.
We were watching that, weren't we, from the reverse angle through the dust, so to see it from there was good. That was Schischrich. That was pretty classy, to be fair.
Yeah, he just stuck his nose in there, and Baumanis couldn't do anything about him.
This was Kristoffersen. He had that car beautifully balanced and poised underneath him through the entire of that run. He was sitting watching the onboards. Whatever he's done, it has paid off big time.
Johan, it's very unusual that I don't get to speak to you at the end of a race in Q1, but you definitely made up for it with that race. The fastest lap of the day so far, a great time.
Yeah, it was good. I think the last lap was very good, actually. It was tricky. I mean, the track has evolved so much since free practice this morning, and in Q1 I was just following, and now I try to learn the track step by step, and I think I could have gone much faster, but it's a little bit of a learning curve on the first 2-3 laps. But okay, it's a decent time, so we'll see how long it will stay on top.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
Absolutely stunning piece of car control there. There's even just the one corner was well worth looking at again, but that whole run was great. That's the new benchmark. The track here is developing, so it's not to say that other people won't go quicker than he has gone, and that was what he indicated. He said himself, didn't he? How long will it remain there? Practice start for Kevin Hansen in the background. Q2, race 2. Lining up, let's take a look at the grid as the final two cars slot themselves into place. Inside, Kevin Eriksson, next to him, Anton Markland, then Kevin Hansen, Timon Timosyanov and Niklas Gronholm, P6 to P10. Remember, each qualifying session is done as a result of the previous one. So that's why these guys are in a line, and of course we'll get the 5 fastest at the end, who've got that new target time to chase down. Impressed with Markland to get 7th, and we didn't even think it was a particularly perfect run, did we?
No, he didn't all go his way, and for him to come in a fresh car and be in the top 10, he's done a fantastic job there for the GCK team. They'll be pleased with that, I'm sure.
Monster Energy Girls leave the grid, which is what these supercars are just about to do as well. Seeing some interesting tactics. I say Kristoffersen super forceful with a good start into turn 1. Kind of risking it there with a little bit of contact on the inside, but got away with it. We saw Loeb go from slot 2 straight out to the Joker and force everyone. In theory, if you were in slot 1, you could force the entire pack into the Joker. If you got the best start and nobody backed out of it, you'd cost them all time breaking into turn 1. So lots of different tactics with the first lap Joker, first corner Joker. Here we go, good start. Kevin Hansen middle of the grid. Markman goes backwards. Hansen moves inside. Eriksson has to slot in behind him. Timosyanov goes around the outside. So all 4 on the inside. Markman trying to go around the outside of Eriksson. Can't make it stick though, loses time in the dirt. Gronholm's got up underneath him, and then Timosyanov now onto the back of the train. Contact. P2, P3, P4. These guys are going to lose time, and look, Timosyanov's closing them down already.
It's a perfect example of why you don't want to be at the back of that train. Timosyanov's now, he went into the Joker lap on his own, got a clean run through it, and he's already on the back of Markland now, so
And you can't predict it, though, can you? We saw 4 cars go into the Joker lap together earlier on, and I think it was on ARX here. Now we've got 4 cars into the standard lap. It's just so hard. Look at that as well. Brilliant shot.
Yeah, I love that camera angle. It really shows the speed of these cars and how close they get to the tyres.
Ericsson has responded immediately with the Joker lap. He's going to get out in front of Timosyanov, and Timosyanov has to look up the inside. Manages to beat Markland down into there. Markland sticks a nose up the inside, but it's not enough. So Ericsson, Timosyanov, Markland is the order for the guys who've jokered. Gronholm is a couple of seconds in the clear, and that is enough time. We think about 1.8 to 1.9, Dan.
Yeah, roughly 1.8 to 1.9. Obviously, these guys want to have a nice clear margin to come out on it going into the hairpin. And they also need to make sure they can check up and loosen the speed enough so that they don't overshoot the entry and have someone shoot up the inside.
Particularly with that dirt on the outside line.
Yeah, you can see very clearly all of the loose sections here on the track. You can see there's a very clean line.
Timosyanov's going to have a look. Ericsson nearly wide, but not wide enough. And again, Timmer, even though he had the inside line, too much dirt for him to find the traction.
Yeah, exactly. You can even be too tight here. There is a very prominent line that runs down the inside of that, or down the middle of that loose section. So just to be on 2 wheels on the inside is too much wheel space for it.
Kevin Hansen into the Joker lap. Nicholas Gronholm follows him in on the last lap. Where are they going to come out? Clearly in front of the rest of the pack. So these two kept it tidy. The 3 behind, just little bits of contact. You can see they're struggling to find ways through. Nothing major, but they'll have lost a little bit of time. So Kevin Hansen aiming for the target time of Kristoffersson. I have to be honest, I think he's going to struggle to match it, but let's see how clean he's kept it in the Peugeot. Be a good indicator of whether or not the track is faster than it was. 2:23.8. Remember, the line is after the right-hander onto the tarmac. Timing loop about there. Kevin Hansen actually not as far off as I thought. So 2:25.0 plus 1.1. And a 2:23.8 would have been enough to win the first session significantly. Oh, sorry, that's Kristoffersson, 2:25.0. So yeah, he would have been bang on the same pace as, in fact, yeah, so Kevin Hansen, 300th slower than Solberg went to win Q1. So that is a good time from Kevin.
Yeah, that is very impressive. He was able to keep his nose clean and just drive his own lines. You know, I'm sure the track is probably scrubbing up, as Johan said earlier in his interview. You can see a very clear black line out there now.
2:25.034 for Kevin Hansen. As I say, that is literally 300ths off the time that Solberg did to win Q1. So the track looks to be quicker. Gronholm also with a great time there, then Ericsson, Timosyanov and Markland, but none of them able to beat Kristoffersson. There he is, look, top of the table, 2:23.8. He's 1.2 seconds clear, but we've got 5 very fast guys to come, including, of course, Peter Solberg, who is in exactly the same car. Great reaction time, Kevin Hansen. You could see that the nose of that Peugeot barely lifting as they went off the line. Timosyanov up into the Joker on his own. Nice.
Yeah, perfect for Timosyanov as he came around there. He was able to just pick his own line through the Joker lap, and then as he comes out, he's watching these guys all nudge each other and lose time as they go through the hairpins.
He managed to get the one, didn't he, at the Joker merge, but it wasn't enough to move further up. Anton's had 2 average starts now with GCK, so he's going to be wanting to look at the settings for that as well.
Yeah, I think maybe Anton's struggling a bit with clutch positions, etc. in the new car, so I'm sure we'll see his starts improve as the weekends go on.
Yeah, he'll hope so, won't he? I'm sure the team will be working hard on that one. So one more race to go in Q2 here. Johan Kristoffersson is leading the session as it stands at the minute. It was a brilliant bit of car control, wasn't it? Just literally just over here. You sort of look up from the monitor and you see it's there. It's like that. It's poised on a knife edge at high speed. Great drive. Can Solberg beat him?
It'll be interesting to see. You know, I think Johan's very smooth and you need that for this track. So hopefully if Solberg can hold back on his sideways style, he could get close, but it'll be interesting to see. All
right, cool. We're going to head down to Neil Cole ahead of the final race.
Kevin, not quite as quick as Johan, but you've got to be happy with that race.
Yeah, I think Johan did a great run, so I was really happy with mine as well. Amazing start, so that was really important, and then I went with what I had, and I did the maximum with what I had, so I was very happy with that run after a bit more struggle in Q1, so let's see what the other boys in the team do now. I gave every comment I had on the track to them, so hopefully they can bring something extra now.
Okay. Good luck, see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Kevin happy enough, and rightly so, good time by him. 2 slightly newer factory Peugeots to come. Though bear in mind, of course, that car that Kevin's in is the one that was absolutely killing it earlier on this year. Timmy Hansen, I've said a few times, been a bit unlucky not to be further up the standings, but the man at the top of the standings at the minute is Petter Solberg. On the inside, next to him, Matthias Ekström, our 2 previous World Rallycross champions. Of course, Solberg with 2 titles to his name. Sebastian Loeb and Timmy Hansen, the 2 Peugeot teammates. And on the outside, Andreas Backrud. That in the distance is rain you can see falling just to the right of the main grandstand there. It's out on the F1 track. I don't think it's going to make it to us in time to affect the end of today. Bear in mind, if you're only watching World Rallycross, we've got ARX as well. So ARX 2, more to come today. Here we go though. End of Q2 for World Rallycross. Great start across the grid. Hansen moving across, contact between him and Backrud. Loeb into the side of him too. Loeb ducks into the standard lap behind Petter Solberg. And it's Ekström leading his teammate Backrud. Timmy Hansen's been dumped to the back of the pack there, not ideal.
So Ekström there, he's opted for a very similar tactic as we saw from Sebastian Loeb in Q1. He started P2 on the grid and he made his line very clear that he was going for the joke lap and held it on the inside. Didn't overshoot it too much, was able to tuck it back in, and he was out the front of the train from all the guys that took the joker.
Yeah, fantastic job by him. Sebastian Loeb, meanwhile, following Petter Solberg. So Solberg was super quick. Remember though, Kristoffersson setting those consecutive fastest lap. Can Solberg do the same? And can Loeb learn anything? Not that a 9-time World Rally Champion needs to learn anything, but it's always interesting to see what the other guy's doing.
Yeah, he can even see where maybe the VW is gaining on the Peugeot on certain areas of the track, or maybe where he's gaining back to the VW. So you're always learning. You can never know too much when you're behind someone.
Look at Solberg straight out to the edge of the track, jumps on the brake, sticks the nose in the car sideways, and he comes around that long tarmac right-hander, heavy loading through there. It's this flick through here that's super committed now, and you've got to have ultimate confidence in your car at that point. Loeb goes joker. Sebastian Loeb backs the car in, a bit too much understeer though, maybe coming a little bit too hot. Going to try and hold on to his position. He's going to get up the inside of Ekström. Ekström trying to go round the outside. Loeb into the side of Ekström. Ekström's in the dirt. He's going to lose tons of places here. Backward up the inside. Side by side as well, so Ekström loses out. Hansen trying to come round the outside of him too. Ekström's got the inside line. He should hold P4, but contact on the way into the joker lap. Disaster for Ekström there.
Yeah, not very good for Ekström, but good for Backrud. You can see the dust. These guys are almost missing their braking points, I'm sure, because you weren't expecting to see that.
No, straight across from the inside of the track to the outside. You're looking at Solberg, who's got joker lap now. We haven't seen Solberg light up the timing screens with fastest lap of the day, so he's probably not on the pace of his teammate, but it's going to be very close. Backrud holding on to P2 from Loeb.
Yeah, Backrud got very lucky there in the lap before. He kept his distance behind and just took an advantage of the mistakes made in front of him and just went for that gap.
Here we go then, Petter Solberg chasing down the time of Johan Kristoffersson. The time is 2:23.860 in the sister car. There it is, bottom of your screen. What can Solberg do? He won Q1 over the line. 2:23.1, he's gone 6/10 faster. Petter Solberg has gone 6/10 faster in the final race of Q2. Where did he do that? So we're looking at 30. So Johan got the fastest lap, but Solberg's average pace, and certainly through the joker lap, has got the job done. He goes 6/10 quicker. Petter Solberg is back. Backrud fan club enjoying that as well. Good result for the Norwegians. P1, P2, Solberg and Backrud. Loeb, Ekström and Hansen. Ekström the big loser there after contact at the joker lap merge. And Kristoffersson is 7/10 off the back of Petter Solberg. So Solberg is on an absolute flyer this weekend. Johan maybe thought the track was going to develop. Did it? You'll have to find out tomorrow. We've got another 2 qualifying sessions to go in the World Rallycross Championship. And don't forget, because Kristoffersson had such a shocker in Q1, he's got to fight his way back up the order. Solberg, meanwhile, right up there. Kevin Hansen with P3. Great job by him. Here's another look at this one.
So yeah, really even start across the board, and you see Ekström there really committing into the joker lap, and careful not to overshoot it. You see him, his Backrud is all over the back of him, but he was just able to fend him off, and he got a good run out there.
Loeb, interesting that they chose to take this tactic here. So Loeb was tidy. I say he looked like he'd gone a tiny bit deep on the way into the joker to me. He was really waiting for the car to turn in, and then this, look at the dust.
Yeah, so the dust covering the whole track, and it's not ideal for these guys. I'm sure it would have been a bit of a distraction for them.
Particularly this next braking zone, you didn't see it, but the super committed one. This was Solberg out of the joker, nicely in front. I say, I really didn't think that he was on it, simply because we'd seen Kristoffersson lighting up the timing screens. So, he'd gone fastest lap, he went fastest lap again. So we're like, okay, he's doing it and Solberg's not. But of course, Solberg's average was right there just behind Johann's one fastest lap of the day, and he's done it. And 6/7/10. Johann's run to me looked perfect.
Yeah, of course. And, maybe the track is developing. Maybe Petter had the advantage from the off and had a bit of a cleaner track. But, Petter was able to put in the fast laps straight away. And Johann said in his interview he was maybe learning the track a bit. So maybe Petter had the advantage there.
Awesome job by Petter Solberg, who's won both of the qualifying sessions so far today.
Petter, it's been a while since I've said this to you, but you are top qualifier overnight, and you look very, very happy with your performance.
Of course, I'm happy. I had a very tough year with my sickness, and almost retired from the season, and coming back to do this speed and going so well now, it's very, very emotional. So I'm much better form, and it's fantastic to do this. Have the confidence again, and I can see better and more energy. So I'm happy to come back again after the very difficult with the sickness this year.
Well, it's great to see you back and feeling better.
Thank you.
If ever you needed any demonstration of how much that means to Petter, I feel quite emotional watching him. It means the world to him. The guy's in tears down there. He's had a rotten year. He has not felt very well at all. And I think to take 2 qualifying session wins in such style, and don't forget, against his teammate Johann, he knows how good Johann is. He's like the nightmare teammate, isn't he? I'll sign Johann. Oh no, he's awesome. So to beat him in these conditions, particularly having had a year where he hasn't felt well, it means so much to him. Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. And for him to say he was nearly going to retire from the season and managed to pull himself back, it's just fantastic for him to come back with a bang.
Yeah, brilliant. Great stuff. What can he do? Be good to see him take a win again, wouldn't it? It's been a little while. So here are the standings after Q2. Solberg at the top, almost in tears. So pleased to be back on form, and we're so pleased to have him back on form. Ekstrom P2 for Audi, Loeb P3 for Peugeot, and then it's Backrud, Hansen, Kristoffersen. So the usual suspects are all up there. Of course, that's actually Kevin Hansen ahead of Timmy Hansen. 3 Peugeots in the top 7. Niklas Gronholm, best of the rest. He always is. Fantastic. Can we see him move a little bit further up? Kevin Eriksson's P9. Then we've got Markland, Timosyanov and Shishree. At the minute, missing out will be Balmanis, Larsen and Demoustier. So that's a significant move up the table from P13 for Johann Kristoffersen to get himself right back in the fight. And good to see that the world champion is in the mix again. So Kristoffersen, Dan, I think we knew he'd make it through to the semis. Obviously, a P2 there, seen him rocket right up the standings. It's hard to pass here. There's no doubt about that. Once the first corner melee is over, so he needs to be up there, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise that he's fast, and I'm sure they were working on how to get that launch of the Polo the best, so that they had track position and so he could go out and smash a time like that.
Yeah, he absolutely wanted it. So a brilliant job by Kristoffersen. He still has some work to do. Look, he's probably going to take the title here, but I imagine he was thinking it was going to be easier than it's been so far this weekend. And certainly, looks like we might have a race on our hands tomorrow. So fantastic action so far. Neil Cole is with Timmy Hansen. Of course, he's actually the third of the Peugeots, but let's go and have a catch-up with them. They're having a good weekend. All 3 cars inside the top 7.
Yeah, Timmy, talk us through that race, because it was chaos out there.
Yeah, I got treated hard. 2 Audi drivers are, in my opinion, the most unfair guys on the whole track, and I was between them, so I had to pay the price this time.
Well, talk us through that, because we like to see fair fighting, and we know that you've been in rallycross for many, many years. It's in the family, and it's a contact sport. So what do you think is so unfair?
I think it's the way that they fight on the straights. They treated me into that first corner. Don't give me a fair chance to race, put me on the back.
But you are in P7 overnight, as I understand it?
Maybe, yeah. It's not the best day after that Q2, but and it's so hard to pass here as well. Okay, P7. We've made some comebacks in the past, so a lot can happen on the Sunday.
And what about Sebastian? Because he had quite heavy contact with Matthias himself. I mean, that could be seen as like quite, a little bit too much contact.
Yeah, I didn't see it because obviously there was 1 car between me and that incident. I saw them running wide, but I didn't have really a clear view. A shame for Seb, but yeah, it's the Audis.
So how do you put it behind you and get ready for a fresh day tomorrow? Because you're still in a good position in the standings.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have had good speed. Start have been good, So we have everything, all the tools we need to work. But this track, you have to get the first corner. That's everything. So we have to make some good strategy for that tomorrow.
Okay, well look, I'll let you go and debrief with the team, but maybe don't go next door and see Audi. Thanks to you. Okay, that's it. We have been watching World RX today, and if you happen to have not had enough of Rallycross for today, then there is ARX, America's Rallycross. ARX 2 continues later today, so very soon. Johan Kristoffersen here, will we see him seal the championship here in Austin, Texas? Well, you'll have to watch us tomorrow to find out. Thanks to the whole team. Thanks to you for watching. Come back tomorrow for qualifying 3, qualifying 4, and of course the semi-finals and the final. And that is all on your television, but the live streams are right here where you are right now. Thanks to Andrew Coley and Dan Rook. I've been Neil Cole. Bye-bye.